98.1. Love music, love life. This is a Feel Good Friday morning on the Smooth Breakfast. My name is Ayokunmi, and it's that time to take a walk into the locker room. It's all about sports from here until 8:45. The best of sports news, information, and the latest updates in the sports world. Joining me this morning, as she always does, is the one and only Tega. Tega, good morning to you. Great to have you on the Feel Good Friday morning.
Good morning. Thank God it's Friday.
I second that motion all the way.
Oh, oh my goodness. All right. So thank God it's Friday. A great one at that. There's going to be some UEFA Nations League matches today. France taking on Italy. We'll be talking about that on the show. We'll talk about the US Open, and my goodness, it has delivered on some great competition. So we already know who's playing in the finals of the women's draw. We'll find out later today who's playing in the finals of the men's draw. And one of the best news that can happen, oh, Ghana lost at home to Angola. Hey, hey! Banana. Play me something now. Play me some nice music because it's celebration time. So we'll talk about
Those
that, and
Ghana
then we'll talk
lost.
about I shouldn't be celebrating too much. We are playing our own next. You know, you celebrate after you win, not before.
Exactly.
Not the one
Exactly.
you celebrate someone else's downfall. You will now not win your own. It may be tough. So we'll talk about all of that and more on the locker room this morning. But before we do any talking, can you tell us how we can be a part of the locker room this morning?
All right. You can join us as always on the locker room by sharing your thoughts with us on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981. That is 0809 444 0981. Also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live there at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at some of the major stories that we'll be getting into this morning. Paralympics, Nigeria's Nwogo in heaven after winning Paralympic silver with a dislocated shoulder, I might add. Wonder Woman right there. Coachless Nigeria chase revenge against Benin. Sinner defeats Medvedev to reach first US Open semifinal. Milson sings Ghana with late winner. Ronaldo scores 900th career goal as Portugal defeats Croatia. Ter Stegen delighted to be Germany number one after a long wait. I mean, Methuselah
Oh,
level
well.
waiting. Mbappe raring to go after Euro's disappointment and Real Madrid move. Spain held by Serbia in drab goals draw. I really did not see that one coming, to be honest. But anyways, let's start at the beginning and talk about the Paralympics and, of course, Nigerian Paralympics powerlifter Esther Nwogu said on Wednesday that claiming the silver medal in Paris was like heaven, having dislocated her shoulder just 2 days ago. Just 2 days ago, Tega.
So they had to reset the shoulder. And usually, you know what happens when they reset your shoulder? You have to carry it in what's that hammock? I'm calling
It's
it a
a
hammock now.
sling. A
Yeah,
sling.
you have to carry it in plane for a couple of days because you'd be sore. So for her to use that shoulder just 2 days after dislocation, for her to use that shoulder just 2 days after dislocation to win a silver medal. In fact, let me give you details. First of all, she set the new record, the new games record. She set it just with her second throw. Unfortunately, the gold
Wow.
medalist now came and toppled that. I was just like, what is wrong with you? Can't you allow us to hold something? But yeah, um, before that, she was holding the new record. And then before she was toppled. And so all of that with a dislocated shoulder. So remember, Nigeria won badminton with Eniola for the first one. She won a
Mm-hmm,
bronze medal.
mm-hmm.
Now this is a silver medal, so our next medal is gold because we are going higher.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I remember I was telling you about how with the Paralympics, we just find a way to they keep delivering. And this year is not as good as many years because good news in Wachuku. Remember, we're talking about a world record holder. She
Mm.
just missed podium. She finished fourth, and she was one of my medal hopefuls. But she finished fourth, and I was just like, oh, look at medal. And so this year is not looking as good as Tokyo, but we are still hopeful that more medals will come.
Mm. And of course, despite our wait for more medals, we're already on the board. That's a great start. That is an
Yes, we are.
amazing start.
Yes,
We're on the board
unlike
already.
the Olympics, we're not on the board. This one,
Mm.
we are already on the board.
Better days ahead, and congrats to Esther Wogu for that amazing feat. 2 days after a dislocated shoulder. That is not an easy thing to do at all. All right, let's move on to another story here. Let's talk football and, of course, the AFCON qualifiers as well. Nigeria will begin their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign with a Group D clash against Benin in Uyo on Saturday night. That game is going to be a big one, and it must
Oh,
win.
that, it's a must win for Nigeria. And don't get me wrong, not because if they lose, AFCON hopes are over. No, but it's a must win for Nigeria again because of all the prior results we've had in the World Cup qualifiers. I think about it, losing to Benin, and then the coach coming out to say Nigeria is the easiest thing to beat. You have to respond with some serious decking. It's
Mm,
not don't just win, dominate them. And that's what we need to do. We need to make a statement. This is the kind of remember when Anthony Joshua lost to the what's his name to the was it from Mexico now? The guy that
ah,
likes to
his
eat.
name, his name,
His name
his name
eludes
leaves
me.
my mind.
Exactly. So
Uh,
remember when he lost him, he came back. He had to win that fight because after that it was done. And so for Anthony Joshua, it is imperative. Sorry, for Anthony Joshua. For Nigeria, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it is imperative that they defeat Benin in Uyo. For many things to get the morale back on track. Um, to show that the team is heading in the right direction, to
mm,
lift the spirits of Nigerians, and then to get good points on the board for the qualification of AFCON that will take place in Morocco. It's very important. There are too many things riding on Nigeria winning the match. Even for the players, with the individual moves in their careers. It is, I mean, think about it. If you're Galatasaray and you hear that not only did Victor Osimhen score a goal, Nigeria won the match. Your social media will be lit that our new guy is already delivering on the goods. And so it's important. Same thing for Ademola Lookman. So it's important for the Nigerian team to get on the pitch on Saturday, get the win, not just get the win, but get an impressive win, and then start kick off their qualification with a rounding success. So I know I was mocking other people, but I think I'm going to be humble now till Sunday morning.
mm.
Sunday
Hum,
morning it will be loud again.
as some people say, humility
I'm telling you, humility
it's very,
is
very
very
important.
important.
Oh my goodness. Andy Ruiz Jr. Thank you, Cruz. Andy Ruiz Jr. That's his name. The name of the boxer that Anthony Joshua
Thank you,
faced.
Cruz. Yes, I remember when he lost to Andrew Ruiz. Everybody was just like, I mean, I know you can lose a fight, but to that guy,
Mm-mm. All right, all right. Let's talk some tennis now. U.S. Open still in full gear. World number one, Yannick Sinner reached his first U.S. Open semifinal on Wednesday with a four-set victory over 2021 champion and two-time runner-up Daniel Medvedev.
yeah, I think at this point in time that Medvedev and everybody from the next gen, such as Zverev, the rest of them, they're beginning to hate seeing the likes of Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz because those guys have just been beating them senseless. Um, so Daniel Medvedev stepped on court, and prior to that, Daniel Medvedev was leading the head-to-head like he knew what to do, but he had no answers against Yannick Sinner. And Yannick Sinner is still not playing his most brilliant tennis. Somewhere between the doping scandal and the voices in his head and his physical state. And because at this point in the tournament, everybody is carrying some form of an ego. But somewhere in between all of that, you know, there's some things he needs to iron out in his game. But even then, he was clear ahead of Daniel Medvedev. In fact, a lot of people were surprised that the second set went the way it did. Yeah, Daniel Medvedev won the second set 6-1. Could have been 6-love, but he won it 6-1. And he completely dominated Yannick Sinner. Yannick Sinner
Mm,
lost two serves in that particular set. So a lot of people were even surprised that he won the second set by that margin. But Yannick Sinner came in and just finished up everything completely. But yeah, it's interesting. Let's see how it goes for Yannick Sinner. But he faces he faces Wonder Kid now, and I'm calling him Wonder Kid Jack Draper because in recent months, Jack Draper has been delivering on the potential that a lot of people thought he had when they first saw him play tennis. They're like, this guy, if he's consistent, if he's focused, if he works out well, that he can be maybe the next Andy Murray. And for a long time, we're not seeing it, but especially in the last couple of months, we've seen Jack Draper come on delivering, especially with the win against Carlos Alcaraz, now making this run to his own first semi-final in any Grand Slam, and cutting it into the top 20 in rankings now. You can tell that Jack Draper will not be an easy one for Yannick Sinner. But Jack
Definitely.
Draper is also carrying a small injury because he had to get a medical timeout at his last match against Alex de Minaur, and they had to wrap his thigh. And so we'll see how he manages tonight. But on the women's side, we now know the final is Arina Sabalenka making back-to-back finals appearances because she was there last year, but she lost to Coco Golf. And she is facing again another American. This time, the doubles partner of Coco Golf, Jessica Pegula.
Interesting.
So I'm telling you, so she's facing another American in a final, and it's going to be tough. Jessica Pegula had to fight from a set down against Mukova to get to the final. Sabalenka looked like she was going smooth. She took the first set of the match. She looked like she was going smoothly. And then Anna Navarro was like, but I can play. Why did I call her Anna Navarro? Navarro was like, I can play. Emma Navarro. She was like, I can play now. And then she pushed that second set into a tiebreak. Unfortunately, she had no response to um, Sabalenka's experience, especially when it comes to playing tiebreakers. So Sabalenka, if you ask me, is the most informed player right now, especially on hard court on the WTA. And she's in the final against Jessica Pegula. Now, last year when Sabalenka was up against Coco, everybody almost guaranteed that Sabalenka could have won this. And she took the first set. Unfortunately, she lost to Coco. So let's see if Pegula is going to give Sabalenka a run for her money. But it's going to be an interesting one. Two power hitters, two fighters. Let's see how that ends.
Two power hitters, two fighters in what Tega loves to call the wild, wild west out there in the women's circuit. But interesting times. And this weekend is going to be a bumper one. That much I can actually say. You're listening to The Locker
Yep.
Room right here on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. There's so much more for us to get into. But we'll take a quick breather right here. And then when we get back in on the other side, we're going to be talking about Ghana. Yes. And of course, that game against Angola, which they lost by a goal to nil. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. All right. Progress, progress, progress.
If you see how the Brits are celebrating their how many medals they are winning at the Paralympics, if the America would have been finished though. America is per second that they are winning medals, per second, per second.
Those
They are
people
not
there.
wasting time.
They make noise, but they back it up. That's the annoying thing. They back it up.
I love the Americans. And they have the showmanship. They have everything is complete. Did you see Ezra Freck? Gold in 100 meters, gold in high jump. His picture for high jump is iconic. Iconic. He's my new hero now, Ezra Freck.
When will we get there as a nation? When? Wow. What is?
Let me
I
leave
was
you. If you
still
know how, if you know how Super Eagles, if you see, I don't think you understand. Like the Malians came and they went straight to their training facility Do you understand? At home. Nigerians went to Yo Stadium where their ice bath is inside drum. And they are stretching near gutter. Not just gutter, open drainage. Rather. People are telling me, you want to reach where? Please, let me not talk with one that is stretching.
Ah, Lord have mercy on my soul.
Can
Ah,
they be stretching near open drainage?
hey. You're welcome back to the locker room on a Feel Good Friday morning on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love sports too. Apparently. My name is Ayokunmi Kekere. Of course, Tega is still with me on this journey as we're taking a look at the sports stories that have been making the headlines. And I've got you talking as well. And we need you to get talking as well, Lagos. Join us on the conversation 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981. That's the WhatsApp number. Also, join us on YouTube. We're streaming live right there at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways you can be part of the conversation. Come on, come on. We love to hear from you. All right, like I said before, we went on that quick breather, Tega. We're going to be talking about Ghana.
Yes.
I,
My brother.
I know you've been waiting for this one. So, Angola pulled off a smash and grab at the Baba Yara Stadium after they scored a stoppage time winner to edge Ghana 1-0 in a 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier on Thursday. And what happened to Ghanaians in the stadium after that game?
Oh my goodness. So first of all, before people start saying that it was what happened after that made the stadium, first of all, that stadium should not have passed the test, the CAF inspection test. The pitch was horrible. The players were clearly struggling before any drama. But the Ghanaian players cannot say, oh, it's because the pitch was bad, because it's on that same bad pitch that Angola scored against you and Angola won against you. So as bad as the pitch was, Angola did the job that they came to do. You didn't do the job that you were supposed to do. But the pitch was horrible. The state of the pitch was horrible. There's some Ghanaians even calling that, Ghana should not even play in Ghana again because they don't have any good pitches and they should go and start playing in
Wow.
Cote d'Ivoire. Yes. So that was the first bad news in the story. Then the goal came in, obviously, and they lost to Angola, which made it even worse. And then the fans went to town, destroying the stadium. I'm just like, wait a minute. Ghana is not near Nigeria. I don't understand why people have so many similarities. I do not understand how people are so similar as
I
a
mean, that's what
people.
we're joined at the hip.
No, when I was really growing up, when I was much younger, I used to think that Ghana was next door because of the way we used to be. Like, how are you so similar? I used to
These are the
the way,
questions.
yeah, the way they're so similar. So remember, I was at the stadium. Remember when the Nigerians destroyed the Abuja stadium, and to also witness that from the Ghanaians destroying the already bad stadium that they had just because they lost, was quite disappointing. I hope there are repercussions. I hope the offenders are caught and charged. But yes, the Ghanaians have a lot to do with infrastructure and with the football that they've been delivering in the past few years.
Definitely. And I mean, looking at what happened there, maybe that was them just telling their
It's a lie.
administrators
They
that
did
I
not
mean
play ball.
the
It's a lie.
stadium is no take it, like stadium was already bad. So let's just just help you to tear it down so you can build a new one,
No,
something
bad
like that.
behavior is bad
Maybe.
behavior.
You
Bad
know?
behavior is bad behavior.
Oh my goodness. Yes, still sticking with some football stories. And let's talk CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo, who scored the 900th, yes, 900th goal of his remarkable career on Thursday as Portugal beat Croatia 2-1 in Lisbon in their first game of the UEFA Nations League. A record
Yep.
breaker, record
So
maker.
yes, 900 goals. Fantastic one. I think it was the second goal of the match for Portugal,
Mm.
and then they had to survive against the last 10 minutes onslaught by the Croatians. But yeah, it was a brilliant goal by Cristiano Ronaldo. But that's what we know him for. If you're talking about one of the best goal scorers. You have to count Cristiano Ronaldo amongst all of them. He knows exactly where to be. He knows exactly how to fight defenders off, and he knows exactly how to make the runs, and that's how he got his 900th goal. The good news for him is that, I mean, it just from here on out, it's just more records he's breaking. That's it,
Definitely.
and he's just
It's
going
all
to make
about the
it for the.
records.
He's going to make it harder for the next person that wants to attempt to break his record.
Because
Um,
the
but
numbers are
but
ridiculous.
yeah, the numbers are ridiculous. But for the Portuguese as a whole, that team still lacks a lot. Like I said, they had to survive the last 10 minutes, and they were playing at home. And I do remember when Martinez was hired for Portugal. I was like, really? You are hiring the only underachieving coach to coach your bunch of superstars? But hey, they got the result on the ninth. They started off well with a win at home, and that's brilliant. But going forward, if they're going to have to start competing for trophies, and we're looking, and I'm talking about that based on the other countries that are doing well in Europe, they have to play better. They have to play
Definitely have to
much
play
better.
better. And you know what, Tega, on the flip side, Croatia, they haven't had the best of times. I mean, since the Euros, a group
Yeah, their
stage
golden
exit,
generation is dying out.
it hasn't
Yeah,
been a good time for Croatia at all. At
yeah,
all,
their
at all, at
golden
all.
generation is dying out. And first of all, they have a small population, so it's not like Nigeria that there are many people everywhere. Um, both home and abroad. We like to leave our marks everywhere. There's a
Mm,
trend going on social media about Nigerian, Pakistani, Nigeria. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. We have
indeed, we
Nigerian
are.
we have Nigerian Eskimos. We are everywhere. So, but it's different for Croatia. The population is not so large, and then the golden generation is finishing off already. Brozovic and Rakitic are already out of that team. You can almost bet your pension that Luka Modric is next and Perisic is next, and so they have to just build a new generation, and that kind of thing takes time, especially with their population.
Definitely. All right, let's talk about a very happy man or another very happy man right now. That's Mark-Andre Stegen, who could not be happier to finally, after 1,010,000 years, to be Germany's first choice goalkeeper ahead of Saturday's Home Nations League match against Hungary.
There
It's been
is
a long
nothing worse than being about the same age with a spectacular goalkeeper. And so for many years, as good as the second was, he just had to bow to Manuel Neuer. So Manuel Neuer just had a little bit of mercy and was like, you know what, I'm not going to stress myself to be doing international duty and club duty. I'm just going to resign. And if you saw the way Mark was smiling in the press conference, you'd have thought it was his birthday and they just brought him cake.
Christmas came
He was
early.
that yeah, he was that excited to now stand in goal against Hungary. Yeah, but he's not the I don't think that the Germans would struggle because apart from Manuel Neuer, they still have brilliant goalkeepers. So that department is fantastic. But for Mark, it's a brilliant step in his direction to be world number one for
Mm,
the Germans now. It's a promotion for him. So he'd be happy to do that. But Germany facing Hungary. Now Germany showed in at the Euros and they have bounced back to the team that can begin to dominate again. What they need to start, what they aim to do through the Nations League, is to continue to build that competition and that sharpness that they are known for until they get to the part where they are now contending for the World Cups. Because if Germany faces Spain, you kind of say that Spain is going to take it. But they want to get back to that place where you cannot rule them out of any head to head. And the
definitely.
UEFA Nations League against Hungary gives them the opportunity. So let's see how they continue to grow and get back into form. It will be a brilliant watch for all the neutrals.
Definitely will be a brilliant watch. Kylian Mbappe is in the news. I mean, he's the the new face as they say. So it definitely has to be in the news. Now, Kylian Mbappe's Euro 2024 was hampered by a broken nose, but with all that behind him and enjoying a new lease of life at Real Madrid, he is fully focused on the beginning of the Nations League, according to the France forward on Thursday. Back to international duty. Mbappe ready to go.
Yes, back to international duty and doesn't get any easier. It's France versus Italy tonight. And remember, I was saying France did not do well at the Euros, or they didn't deliver according to expectation. Same thing at Italy. I think a lot of people may not have been surprised that Italy couldn't defend their title, but the fact that they left the competition so abysmally That was shocking. So this is supposed to be redemption, and to start your first match of redemption against France, it's a tough one. So
Definitely,
both teams to
definitely.
be looking, yeah, both teams to be looking out to prove something to their fans, to their national teams, and to themselves. But I think the French just shade it a little bit. Mbappe is a lot happier than he was to go to the Euros. Remember, at PSG, because he was leaving, the coach was selectively giving him playing time. But now he's at Real Madrid. He just scored a brace to open his account with Real Madrid. So he's come into this fixture with a little bit of joy, a little bit of confidence, and some happiness. And
Mm,
and that kind of thing from a player like him, that is the player that most players in the squad look up to. It can change the whole outlook of the team. So let's see how the French perform. For the Italians, I don't see it getting any better, because even from their league, all the big name players, the Chiesas, they are not. I mean, Chiesa is in Liverpool, but he hasn't played. He was sitting in the crowd,
yeah.
watching, Manchester United lose to Liverpool, but he wasn't part of that, that win. So there's still some kinks in their armor that they need to straighten out. So I don't think it's going to be easy for them against France. In fact, I think they would lose against France. The question is by how many goals. So let's wait to see how they perform.
That's that's
Tonight.
the big
That's
question
tonight.
because
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And let's talk about a surprise here. Spain, they were held to a Dara goalless draw away at Serbia in the Nations League Group 4 on Thursday, ending a 9-game winning streak and dropping their first points since March. Nobody saw this one coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, but the performance was left a lot to be desired. Too many touches. It was almost like they weren't planning to score. They just wanted to show Serbia that they could hold possession. That and I've said this before about the Spanish team. I think sometimes they touch the ball a bit too much. They pass the ball a bit too much. Everybody must not touch the ball before it enters the back of the net. Are you Arsenal? Just be a little more direct. And it was tough on the eyes, because at some point my eyes was turning like a barber's chair, but the ball was
Wow.
not hitting the back of the net. I think the first time they got closest to scoring the goal was through a set piece, was through a free kick. The next time was Lamine Yamal trying to coil the ball, bend the ball around the back. It was few and far in between. A lot of ball possession, not enough end product. And so De
Mm,
La Fuente needs to sit and talk with his team why it was a little less direct. I understand missing out on having starting Morata up front. I think it was a Yatabal that started, so that can change everything. I understand not having Rodri in your midfield, to pull the strings and direct. Olmo, who has been brilliant for Barcelona, was really poor on the night for Spain. So there are a lot of things off for Spain, but the fact that they just pass the ball around too much from side to side without actually penetrating the Serbian defense is a tough one. Now, to give the Serbians credit, they did play a good game. They were compact in defense, and every opportunity that they had on a counter attack, they used it. So, good one for them. But yeah, very horrible by De La Fuente and his boys, and I'm sure it is what they are going to be discussing in training today.
most definitely. All right, let's take messages as we round up on the locker room this morning. Tayo says, I hope the Super Eagles are aware that they are to win a game tomorrow and not draw, because I have a feeling these guys already have apologies in their drafts. Like that, we've forgotten Osimhen
Tayo,
went on your.
Tayo.
He further says, like that, we've forgotten Osimhen went on a rant and he's now leading our attack. What a transfer saga can do, never underestimate it. Mohammed says, Tega, Croatia no be yamu. When it comes to the national team, they are very dangerous, especially when they see the World Cup. They turn from cats to lions. So that was a good result for Portugal. I mean, they didn't do this in the Euros, so the cats remain the cats, I guess, in that instance. He further says, where are the pundits, especially from England, that said CR7 is finished? And I won't read this other part. And he's asking, by the way, am I related to President CGN? Well, I neither confirm nor deny, Mohammed. So make of that information what you will.
What you will.
And then on YouTube, Abed Obisha says, Andy Ruiz. Yes, thank you for that. We got the name eventually. Big Mayor says, good morning, guys. Ghana lost to Angola, and you're saying don't go anywhere before the break. Where am I going to? We day here with
We did here, Kakwe. We have
Oh
to
my
laugh.
goodness. This beef with
Let
Ghana,
the
eh?
tears be many.
And AGK Neki says, so it's only Lagos that you'll be mentioning, eh, Ayo? Anyway, Smooth is global now, bro. True that. I apologize. Smooth, Lagos, Nigeria, and the entire world as well. And he further says, meanwhile, let's not troll Ghana. Benin Republic is just waiting to pounce on our
You
mistakes. We will
calm down
have,
now. Let's laugh at Ghana small
let's laugh at
and
it.
eat
Don't worry.
jollof while at it.
Very, very hot one with chicken. Even though it's expensive now, but we move all the same. And on that note, we've come to the end of the locker room on Feel Good Friday mornings. Thank you so much, Tega, for coming through as you always do. It was a fun time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for sending your messages via WhatsApp and for streaming us on YouTube and sending your messages there to remember to like and subscribe. And also thank you for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room till I come your way again on Monday and hopefully with a win for the Super Eagles. It's bye from me.
Amen to that win. And thank you all for being a part of the locker room. Keep it tuned. Smooth 98.1, 9 o'clock Lagos. We're going to get talking